Hey, Anthony Tilley here, and welcome to episode 11 of the Solopreneur Show.
Welcome to the Solopreneur Show with your host, Anthony Tilley. To get your hands on more great business training and advice, plus the chance to join our free Facebook group where you will see extended guest interviews, the opportunity of free one-to-one coaching, and behind-the-scenes access to Anthony, go to www.thesolopreneurshow.com and join us today. And here's your host, the man himself, Mr. Anthony Tilley.
Hey, Anthony here, and welcome to today's show. It really is great to have you with us. Now, as you are fully aware, obviously we've now split the show. So this is the second show of the week. There was on Monday, there was our very first Ask Anthony. So I really hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't checked that out yet, make sure you go to thesolopreneurshow.com and you'll be able to see the episode there. Now, little bit of a change today. As promised over the last couple of weeks, I've sort of been talking about this. On last week's show, I interviewed Mr. Chris Payne, and Chris just gave really great value, some really great insights to direct mailing and to product creation, both physical and digital. Really, really great interview, and we did it just over the way there on the couch. And Chris was actually kind enough to he drove back sort of 2.5 hours to get here. I'd never met him before. We'd had a chat on the phone, but he said, look, let me come down to the house and you can do the interview in your office. And I'll tell you what, how about I interview you as well? So that's what today's interview is. It's me being interviewed by Chris Payne, and I share my story. And I don't talk about the podcast. What I actually talk about then is I go on to talk about the changes that I've made within my business. I no longer sell solo ads, but what I've done is talked about in that interview the changes that I've made within my business, but also as well the essential things that marketers, particularly if you're in a multi-level program, something like that kind of person in particular really needs to pay attention to. But also as well, whether you're just an information publisher in general, what I talk about is really, really going to help you with inside of your business. So as ever, first 20 minutes of the interview, and of course the full interview is inside of our Facebook group, which again, solopreneurshow.com, you'll be able to join the Facebook group there and see the whole thing. So I think without further ado, a little bit strange, it's going to be me interviewed for a change. And as with last week, obviously we did it sort of on the cameras, etc. So the audio is not quite as good as it usually is on the show, but it certainly doesn't detract from the great information that Chris and I share with you. All right, so here's the interview.
Hello, I'm Chris Payne and I'm here with Anthony Tilley. Anthony, thank you very much for taking your time to have this conversation together. So, nice to see you.
And you too. Yeah, great to be here.
So to get started, Anthony, tell us a little bit about you and explain who you are to the audience.
Okay, I'll try and do this short because actually this could be very long. This could be very, very long. So I discovered the internet in about 1996. Before that, so I was about 25 years of age then. Prior to that, I'd worked in various sort of industries, retail, marketing, sales, etc. here in the UK. And I discovered this thing called the internet from a friend. And what happened was we were pregnant. My wife was pregnant with my first son, Jacob. And we went to these NCT classes, National Childbirth Trust. And we met a couple there, Joe and Richard, very nice couple. Richard was very, very techie, and he introduced me to the internet, this amazing new thing. And we hit upon the idea that we were going to go out to businesses and get them on this new thing called the internet, which was revolutionary. Nobody didn't what was going on here. Thought this was great. We started doing this. Sadly, not long after their daughter Libby was born, they actually split up.
Yeah.
So he moved away, and the idea was gone. I then, I enlisted the help of a cousin's boyfriend who was techie, who was also called Richard, which is rather strange. And we're going to do the same sort of thing. They then split up. So, I was starting to get a little bit paranoid here about, my effect on business partners' relationships. And but I realised these guys were the techie ones. I wasn't. I needed to learn this stuff. So I started sort of learning and fiddling around, etc. And of course, this is before WordPress, any of that kind of, before Facebook. There was life before Facebook. And I started learning all these bits and pieces. And over the next 12, 14 years, or 12, 13 years, you name it, I tried it. Drop shipping oil paintings from China. Amazon sites, soccer sites, just lots of cookie cutter bits and pieces, etc. And nothing seemed to work for me. Really, but I kept going. I was too stupid to give up. I just kept going. And in 2009, end of 2009, I went to an event at the O2 Arena of Andrew Reynolds.
Yeah.
And there was a gentleman there, Brett McFall, Australian gentleman who came on stage and was talking about private label rights. And all of a sudden, just something clicked. I knew a little bit about digital products from having done the Amazon, this affiliate book site, etc. So I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't really sort of know about product creation or creative product. But he talked about private label rights. And I thought, you know what? I get that. That's like a basis I can use, and I can make it better, and I can start to build a list. And this was the thing he was talking about. So I just basically started building a list. I actually then created my own product from PLR about blogging and video blogging. I called it Blogging for Gold.
Wow.
And put it on the Warrior Forum, gave it away for free. And what I did was I gave away the private label rights to it. So I created all of this from various different places, etc. Created this product, did the sales letter for them so they could then use it themselves. And within 6 weeks...
And was that free?
Free.
So not only did you get the product, but you got the private label rights as well,
everything.
for free.
I gave it all away for free. And I built a list of 1,000 people in 6 weeks, which, having spent the last 13 years banging my head against a brick wall selling oil paintings, was amazing. I had a little $10 OTO, a one-time only offer behind it. And that was something that Andrew Reynolds had given us to be able to use. He'd given a load of private label rights products. So I put them all together in a package and I sold them for $10. And that converted at 10%, which, is all right. I was, again...
100 sales, $10?
I made
$1,000.
$1,000. I was, this is, oh my God, this stuff works. This is amazing. So, being me, I didn't just keep on rinsing and repeating. Oh, that worked. Okay, what else shall I try now? But I started to build the list. I then learned about ad swapping, which basically means if you had a list of 500 people and I had a list of 500 people, I'd mail your offer to my list and you'd mail your list with my offer.
Exactly.
And we'd build the list that way. And that was great. Started to build, started to grow. But the money wasn't really sort of coming in. I was talking to a friend of mine, another UK marketer, and we had very similar sized lists. And he told me how much he was making, and I told him how much I was making, which was considerably less than him. So, well, how are you making all this? He said, what you want to do, mate? You want to sell solo ads. Great. What are solo ads? So he explained what a solo ad is, which basically it's like affiliate marketing, but you get paid up front. Yeah. Somebody will come with an offer. They will pay you to send a certain amount of traffic to their page in advance. And obviously they keep the money themselves, whereas obviously affiliate marketing...
Yes, so we're clear, because it's not always clear for an audience. Yes. What you're saying is that you have a list of, let's pick a number.
20,000.
So you've got the 20,000 list.
Yeah.
So what you could do is somebody could give you an affiliate link, which you promote, say, look, hey, this is my very best friend, somebody from wherever, and buy the product. So here's the link to the sales page as an affiliate link. They then click on the link, they go to the product, they read the sales letter. If they buy it, you eventually either get paid 50% there and then, or 30 days down the line, whatever, depending on the offer. You're saying solo ads is similar, but actually a different approach. You're actually getting paid up front to send that email. So you're either going to give you the email for you to send, but generally, I think we've talked about off camera, which is you will take what they think you should send to this and you will write it in your words. Yeah. But what you're delivering is clicks to that, but they're paying you an amount of money up front to deliver a certain number of clicks.
Absolutely. So you send the email, you get paid, or you get paid up front, send the email, and everybody's happy.
Great.
So I was doing this, and it was going well, going okay. And then a combination of things happened. In June 2010, I went to an event in London and met Alex Jeffries and Dean Holland, who are both sort of UK marketers. And I came up with the idea of interviewing Alex, because we only lived about 20 minutes away at the time. He's over in San Diego now, but that's sort of how far away it was. So I asked him, and in fairness, he said, yeah, no problem at all. Speak to my assistant, we'll set it up. And in fairness to the guy, he said, come to my house. We'll do it at my house. Come down. So I went and sort of spent half a day with him, filming him, etc. And it's still on YouTube, and he's there in his pink pajamas, etc. It's it's a good interview. It's a good video. So I did this, and I launched the product, and made a few sales, made a nice bit of money, etc.
What's the name of the product?
It's the Ultimate Alex Jeffries Interview, which I think, to be honest, now it's not available for sale anymore. It's something I've used and sort of given away for free inside of other things. But it was called the Ultimate Alex Jeffries Interview, and I had the edited version at the front end, and I had the full whole shooting match as the upsell.
Great. So it's 35 minutes from memory for the actual basic unit, which is selling for like $7.
Yeah.
And then what was the unedited?
It was about 70 minutes, 75 minutes.
Wow, so it's double that.
Yeah. So and that was the real sort of the extra little nuggets and bits.
Fantastic.
So that went well, and that was that. As far as we still sort of we kept in contact, but that was it. He did a launch then at the end of that year, and I won the product launch. And I beat quite a few big marketers because I had a list built of people who liked Alex Jeffries. I actually had this list, tailored, because of course it was all him. And of course, I already had a list myself from selling solo, so I promoted it to them as well. So a certain number of my solo ad, list had bought this, etc. So I won this contest.
And you won an iMac.
I did, yeah. I won an iMac. I took the cash. So, I'm a PC man. So I had the cash. Which my wife was much happier about, to be honest. So, but part of the prize was to go down to his office. So I went down to the office and I met him and Dean and Adam, who now runs, is Alex's partner, and told him how I'd won the contest, what I'd done, etc., etc. And within 3 days, he'd offered me a job. Asked me to be his launch manager of his WSOs. So it's one of those things where when somebody like that offers you a job, even though I love working from home, love working for myself, an entrepreneur, just me, you can't turn it down. So I did that for a number of months, and it just run its course. And I wanted to get back to being me, to just being me. So what happened was, around about the time between meeting Alex and doing the product launch, I was recommended by a gentleman called Dagan Smith. He bought a solo ad and he recommended me to his list. And all of a sudden my business just went and absolutely went.
So loads of other people started coming to use the solo ads.
Started buying solo
ads from you.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So things were going well.
So did the business nearly double, triple?
At one point, when he first recommended me on his webinar, this will make you smile, being British, we're very sceptical being British. I had a month's worth of money coming overnight. My instant thought is, oh my God, what's happened? What's gone wrong?
This can't be real.
This can't be real. This can't be happening. So I managed eventually to find out. It was like getting blood out of stone from these people who bought, but Dagan had recommended me on his webinar. So really, really good that I got that. So I started to work for Alex. And I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to do this with Alex, I've got to do it properly. So I sold the solo ads business. So the thing is, the thing about doing that is it made me unique as well. There was lots of solo ad sellers at the time, but I was the only guy who built a business and sold it. So it put me in a sort of a position of authority, something a bit different. that was part of the reason. The other part, to be perfectly frank with you, I could have outsourced it. I could have got somebody to run it, but I knew at some point they'd drop the ball. And I just didn't want that to happen to my customers. So I sold the business and took it over. When I came out from working with Alex, I had an idea for a coaching program I wanted to do, and I approached Dagan with it, and he thought, yeah, absolutely brilliant. So we did that together. And it was to people who were already within his program.
What were your deliverables?
So basically what we were doing was he was helping people. So he had people within his program, within his maximum leverage. And basically we would teach them all about what solo ads were. He had sort of done for you products, etc. And we were showing them how to build a list with that, and then to sell solo ads themselves, to show them how to do it, how to become solo ad sellers. I was very, very disappointed because he had a live event in Vegas, and I was due to go and speak at it, and my wife was rather ill, so unfortunately I had to sort of pull out of it at the last minute, so which was a bit disappointing. But so we did that program, and I then had a conversation with Igor Kaifetz, who Igor is a very well-known solo ad seller. I've known him for years just through being in the industry. And he said, how do you fancy doing something together? So we did a similar sort of thing, helping people to build their own businesses, etc. And we did it. I enjoyed it. It was good. We made some nice money. We made $100,000 in 100 days. And that was profit. We launched a WSO that was 1995 called Operation Solo. And basically people watch the video. It's sort of a 65 minute video. Underneath they could apply to speak to Igor and myself, and then we put them into coaching. I enjoyed it, but something just didn't feel quite right. I think probably because it wasn't all me. I'm sometimes a little bit of a control freak. And I just wasn't enjoying doing it. I just wasn't. So I sort of closed that. The people who are in it, I've always said to them, look, I'm here. Come and talk to me. You need any help, contact me. And people do from time to time. They'll come back. Can you help me with this? Can you advise me with that, etc. So the door is always open for those people because they invested with me. So I'm always there. I'm always there for them. What am I going to do? So I read the one thing. Sorry, I listened to the one thing. I had it on Audible, and I thought, you know what? One thing for me, it's list building. It's list building. It's getting people into funnels, etc., etc. That's what I enjoy. I get as much, if not more, of a buzz today still seeing a subscriber join my list as I do seeing a dollar going into PayPal. I still somebody's given me their email address. I still get a buzz from that. And over the last 6 years, millions of people have gone through my pages and sort of joined my lists, but I still get that buzz seeing it sort of go up. So I went back into the solo ads, but I did it differently this time. This was the key thing, was that I'd seen the way the solo ads, it's a very easy business model to get into. To be honest with you, if you want to sell solo ads, it's very, very simple. Unfortunately, when you have a model that is that simple, you get a lot of people in the industry who are perhaps not what you'd hope they would be. It has got a bit of a bad reputation, to be honest with you, because there's a lot of people out there that are selling bad traffic. They're selling what are called bots that appear to be proper people, proper clicks, but it's not. Wow. So I thought, okay, well, I want to go back into the industry, but I've got so much more to give. I know so much more than 99.9% of people selling traffic. I need to do something whereby I give over and above. So people were able to buy the traffic from me, but a lot of my clients are multi-level marketers. That's Mobe, Empower Network.
Right. This is where people pay up front for the ability to be able to sell other products.
Yes.
So that includes Sarah Starr's licensed partner team program.
Yes, that kind of thing. I think with Sarah, I don't think there's that multi-tier level to it. I don't believe.
No, there's only one price.
There's one, but whereas with something like Mobe or Empower Network or these other ones,
you can go in at different price levels.
Absolutely, and then you can sell whatever level you go in. You can sell, but also as well then with the multi-level side of it, what it also means is, if I joined at $5,000 and I sold you in, I would get a commission. But then if you sold somebody in, I'd get a split of that person coming in as well.
Yeah.
So, and again, MLM is another thing that gets bad press. But if it's done right, if people use it and don't sort of abuse it, I suppose with great power comes great responsibility. The old Spider-Man thing, if it's done right, it can be good because it's a great way for people who are starting in the business to have products that they can sell that they know are quality that can help people. But here's where my issue was, and this is why sort of I did what I did with the business. As a seller, if all I'm doing is sending traffic to a squeeze page for one of these programs that hundreds of thousands of people, maybe even millions of other people have already seen, because there's lots of people in these programs and they're just taking the page and they're sending traffic to it, it just becomes completely saturated. The way I sort of described it on my own sort of solo ads page was, it's a bit like if you're out in the countryside and you see some sheep, and you come out from the city and you're in the countryside and it's been a while since you've seen sheep. You go, look, kids, there's sheep. Oh yeah, okay, great.
And they all look the same.
Yeah, and then you go, look, kids, there's sheep. You're like, yeah, great, thanks, Dad. Yeah, sheep. We've seen the sheep. We know, and eventually you become blind to the sheep. But you're driving down the road and all of a sudden in that flock of sheep there's a blue sheep, with neon sign. But whoa, hang on a minute, that's different. You stop, you take a picture, you put it on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, that kind of thing. And that's the analogy I use. You want a blue sheep. In your business, you want a blue sheep. You don't want to have a page that looks like everybody else's.
So we're clear, what you're saying is that somebody who is in Empire Networks, MOB, etc., to promote the MOB funnel, if I sign up to MOB, I'm getting a set of emails that I can send.
Yeah.
But they're just generic emails that could be sent by anybody. But if I'm sending that out to my list, that same email is going to be sent out by other people.
So the squeeze page, emails, these done for you emails, etc. And we'll come on to the emails. That's a whole that's a whole other can of worms. But with the squeeze page, if you've joined Mo, you've got that squeeze page. Yeah. He's got that squeeze page. She's got that squeeze page. She's got that, and they all send traffic to it. People become blind to it. They don't opt in because they've seen it 10 times in the last week.
So what we can say is that somebody's either seen that page before and they've signed up, or they've seen that page before and they didn't, but just because they're seeing it again doesn't mean they will. No. We want to somehow turn it into a blue sheep because it's like, now I'm interested because that's the colour I like. So somehow we want to you're saying it needs to be customized so that you stand out and you become the blue sheep rather than just being the same as everybody else.
Absolutely.
Got it. Brilliant point, which I think many of the audience will just won't realise.
Yeah, no, it's something different. So basically, I create blue sheeps. Sheep pie.
Well, sheep pie.
Sheep pie.
I think that's wonderful.
So I create blue sheep for my clients who want it. Not everybody wants it, because I do ask a little bit more from them than just me creating that unique squeeze page for them.
Right. So what you're doing is...
Okay, so we're going to pull the curtain down as ever, around about the 20-minute mark for that interview. And if you want to hear the rest of the interview, if you want to hear about the remainder of the great stuff that I share throughout the rest of the interview, if you get yourself to thesolopreneurshow.com/Anthony Tilley, there'll be a banner there and a link where you are able to join our Facebook group. Now, the other thing that I want to say as well, I'm recording this here and now, and today, this little bit here where I'm recording out around the show, it's Wednesday the 11th. This episode will be going out on Thursday the 12th of January 2017. On the 28th of January, there will be a book launch, and that is the transcriptions of the first 5 interviews. And I've been blown away, actually. I had these transcribed, and then obviously I've sat down, I've edited them myself to make them readable, because these interviews, conversations back and forth as they are, it's not really readable. So I've made them far better in terms of the flow. But I tell you what, I've been absolutely blown away reading through those interviews, the quality of information that has been shared by our guests. So I really, really highly recommend you keep your eyes open for that. And certainly, if you get yourself inside of the group in readiness, you will obviously be first on the notification list for that book. But also as well, something that I am doing different, okay? There's a Facebook group there at the moment, but as from the 28th of January, there will also be a free membership. And what I'll be doing with each of the interviews that I've conducted so far, and then with all future interviews, there will be 3 training videos. I will pull out 3 salient points from each video and give extended training about them, giving you some great information. So, even though this is free, this podcast is free, the Facebook group is free, the membership is free, please do not underestimate the value of what I'm sharing here with you. A lot of what is being shared here is only shared on your sort of high level, high ticket products. So there's a huge amount of value that is here within this show for you. So I highly recommend that you get yourself to the solopreneurshow.com, click on that banner, join the Facebook group, and then on the 28th, you'll be able to get access to the membership and all the great stuff that I've got planned inside of there. All right. So that said, end of today's podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. And as I said, if you haven't heard Mondays, Ask Anthony. Have a little look wherever you are. I'm sure you're not going to be too far away from it. If you're in iTunes or on Stitcher, then there'll be a link somewhere pretty near to that episode. That was episode 10. Alternatively, if you're at the show page itself, of course, you're going to be able to see the link there as well to that show. But for now, have a great weekend. Get yourself inside of the Facebook group, and I'll speak to you again soon. Cheers. Bye now.
To get your hands on more great business training and advice, plus the chance to join our free Facebook group where you will see extended guest interviews, the opportunity of free one-to-one coaching, and behind-the-scenes access to Anthony, go to www.thesolopreneurshow.com and join us today.